All right, now we're live. What's going on, guys? We got an early slate today. It's 2 games. We don't do write-ups for 2 games, so this is just gonna be one video for everybody. We're gonna keep it quick and just give some short opinions on if you be playing this 2 game MLB DK slate, what you should do with it.
Yeah, excited to talk these out. I love these 2 game slates. This one in particular looks like a real wild card.
I agree. So I have been waiting all morning long to get some idea of where ownership was going to go on this one. And it sounds like Hoffman's going to be the most popular pitcher. Urena's going to be the least. And then we should get a steady mix of the other guys. I don't know if you're seeing the same stuff or anything different.
No, I think that sounds correct.
Okay. My thoughts on this one, all four of these dudes are flat out wild cards in this game. So if I'm playing GPPs today, I kind of want to be different because I don't think there's a significant difference in their likelihood to succeed. So I want to start trying to target the stacks and the guys that are lowest owned.
Yeah, agreed. I do think that like ownership spread out. Like, let's say that's just. I'm not saying they will be, but let's say the Pirates are the highest owned. Like the bottom of their lineup won't be high owned. So I think that this is definitely a slate where I love slates like this. The problem with this particular slate is I don't have like a clear way to go.
I'm with you on that one. It seems to me, we know the Reds have the best offense on this slate. I don't think that's really too much up for debate, although they still don't have Moose today.
Oh, Castellanos is back though?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, they still don't have Moustakas. Like, they are the best. I mean, I don't think their offense without Moustakas is like much better at all than Arizona's.
I mean, I don't think any of the offenses, especially when you take Moose out and
I do think
like that, they're not. None of these are great offenses.
I do think the NL offenses are slightly better.
I don't, I'm not really a huge fan of any of them.
I can't argue that.
So, I mean, Pittsburgh has played some decent games this year, despite the fact they have like no name recognition. I mean, we know Detroit's offense isn't very good, but we've seen them have their moments when they swept the Astros. Arizona, they're still missing some of their better players. They're not great. And since he had some nice moments, but they're not a great offense at all. And with no Moustakas in there, I mean, what is it, Castellanos? I mean, really kind of take a look at this. Castellanos, Winkers, Senzel, Kyle Farmer, Suarez, who is going to be super popular today, but has not played well this year. He literally strikes out almost every single at bat.
Yeah, I mean, he does not look good.
So he's going to be huge chalk today at shortstop. So my quick opinion on that is just don't play him. He hasn't been good. If he beats you, there's another slate tonight. But this is the kind of chalk that I like to fade on these smaller slates. A guy whose last 21 at bats have ended in 12 strikeouts.
This is definitely one where I'll only use him if I'm stacking Cincy. I mean, and if I'm stacking Cincy, I'll have a little bit of exposure, but they look like they're going to be the chalk. So,
well, yeah, they had that monster start to the season, so I think they're the big name. And the ballpark in Cincinnati is better than the ballpark in Detroit. But on a 2 game slate like this, like when the talent is pretty even, and there's not like it's not like the Yankees red hot versus a dumpster fire, and then on the flip side of it, you have like I don't know, the Rockies who are ice cold against Jacob deGrom. That's not the kind of like, unchalky pivot I want to make. But in a situation like this, like I want to go wherever's low owned.
It does. I said early that the Reds and Diamondbacks have slightly better offenses. It's debatable. I still think that, but it also looks like both those offenses are coming in over-owned, while Detroit and Pittsburgh are coming in under-owned.
Yeah, so let's go to Pittsburgh for a second and talk about their pitcher, Mitch Keller. And I know we've discussed him ad nauseum, and we've kind of said that I think the last 2 starts, and you can even throw the third one in there as being more, or the first one is a little more neutral, is he's going to have good days like he did against the Cubs in the first start, or in the second start against the Cubs, because he's got decent stuff. However, he's a young guy. He's inconsistent. He gets in his own mind. He got blown up against San Diego. I'm kind of interested in Detroit here, just looking like them to be the lowest owned team.
I agree. That said, they're still going to get love. So, like, this isn't one, like you said, okay, the way you put it, like, this isn't New York in a garbage can versus, the Rockies versus DeGrom. You're right. But the ownership bears that out as well.
Sure.
Like, we're not getting massive ownership discrepancies. So, I'm with you. I agree with your point. But at the end of the day, this slate is just such a wild card.
Agreed. And I know you respect your arena. We talked about this last time out because Oakland had been in the middle of a winning streak. They still are. And we had some interest in the Oakland bats, but Urena came out, gave it a solid start.
That was probably the best start, one of the best starts anyone had against them in that winning streak.
Yeah, look at Maeda, who we think of it, we really respect. He got absolutely destroyed in that game yesterday.
I mean, Urena, like, he pitched really well that game. Like, that's what I talk about with him.
I mean, that's where today, like, I don't like any of these pitchers and I don't like any of this offense. You keep using the term wild card, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. Taylor Widener has been really, really good to start the year.
Yeah.
So everybody's going to stack Cincy. I mean, this guy's gone up against San Diego, shut him down, shut down Washington. He went up against Cincinnati, whatever it was, 13 days ago, and he wasn't great.
That was like when they were red hot, too.
Yeah, so I will probably fade Cincy today, even though I can understand why anybody's gut instincts is to just ride with them because they're probably the biggest name. It's a better ballpark in Cincinnati. But I'm kind of vibing on Detroit today for no other reason other than they're the lowest owned. And I don't think the discrepancy for how these teams are going to produce is that much different.
So I'm definitely vibing on Widener. Like that, I'm with you there. I'm not sure on my other pitcher and / other offense. And the thing about these 2-game slates is once you decide, it's okay, I've already decided Widener. Once I decide my other pitcher or my other offense, like the other one's decided as well because it's only a 2-game slate. So makes it a little easier, but also harder in the same vein, you know?
And a point that you like is Arizona with an epic might be a bit of a stretch, but a nice comeback last night to beat Cincinnati after our boy Malley absolutely dominated him for 6 innings to blow the game like that. Had a big extra innings rally on top of it. So I know you love the momentum at the end of the game to carry over, especially when that probably just felt like it ended 8 hours ago. So I could see why, Arizona's not good, but none of these teams are really great offensively. None of these teams are the Dodgers.
Well, I mean, these are 4 bottom. I don't know where they'll all finish, but I would not be surprised at all if these are 4 bottom half offenses.
I think we can say confidently that both Pittsburgh and Detroit will be bottom half offenses. I mean, Arizona probably will be too, and Cincy's probably going to be mediocre if they stay healthy.
Yeah, exactly. Like around there if they stay healthy. If not, then they'll be lower than that.
So knowing that Hoffman appears to be chalk, I'm kind of interested in Arizona and Detroit. This
is definitely a slate. Man, there's no choice for me, especially because I'm not going to use Cincinnati. I'm going to be leaving a ton of money on the table. I'm talking like $5-6 grand, not even doing it intentionally. Just like when I build my lineups and I'm using bottom of the lineups, that's just what's going to happen. I mean, there's only so many places to go. And on slates like this, I could have, if I make 3 lineups, there could be 1 or 2 of them that have like $10,000 left.
That's really difficult for people to do. I also don't know if it's going to be that easy to leave that much money on the table. That'd be tough to do too, because it's not like the pitchers are 4 or 5K.
No, but if you're using like Detroit and I mean, I see Arizona real cheap. So if you're using, let's just say you're using Detroit and Arizona. I mean, why'd you put Stallings in there? He's like the most expensive catcher.
It's a lot less. He's less than Ramos and Barnhart and Kelly.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. Yeah, I didn't even realize. Damn.
I did. That's why I did it. Wink, wink. I mean, you're going to leave money. It's tough to leave that much on the table.
I mean, like I said, I'm not intentionally going to do it, but this is not like, I mean, there ain't that.
Be done, I guess.
Yeah. I'm not saying I'm going to do it intentionally, but like if I'm stacking like 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, like these guys, a lot of these guys are under 3K. Cole Calhoun's like 3K. I mean, the only expensive bats are Cincinnati.
So I do think it's something that's difficult, especially if there's anybody who's like really new to MLB DFS this year. The idea of being counterintuitive and not making the quote unquote right play is tough to do, but that's the best move on slates like this. On a 14-game slate, you're not trying to play the worst offense on the board because you have to beat so many other stacks. You don't have to beat that much today. Like a lot of these are all very, very similar spots. So it's intuitive to be counterintuitive, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like I think Cincy will probably be like double the ownership of Detroit here.
Maybe more, maybe 3 times.
Maybe, because it also depends on how owned the pitchers are, because that's the other thing about it. Like, if people all love Keller, like, then obviously that will take everyone off Detroit. This is also definitely a slate. Like, and I don't even say this a ton, but on this slate in particular, I could definitely see using some hit batters against your pitcher. None of these pitchers are that good. All of them could be out by the 4th, 5th inning. You're not expecting any of them really to get you over 15 DK points. Like, I could see, I'm not going to do this, but this is definitely the type of slate where I could see GPPs being won by a stack against that pitcher because people won't do it. All these bullpens are bad. Like, this is just a wild card slate, as I've said.
There's no better time to try to get weird than on a small 2-3 game slate where the discrepancy between the best and the worst isn't that big. Because just take a look at like the outfielders today. And knowing that money's not going to be a major factor, like a guy like Winker at 4,300 leading off is probably going to be very popular, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I agree. Gun to head. Jesse Winker will probably outscore Victor Reyes on a 2-1, maybe even 3-1 type of scenario situation like this. But Victor Reyes will be 1/20th of the ownership.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he'll be like 3% owned. Exactly. Yeah.
And if Reyes, let's just say Reyes gets an RBI double and walks for 9 points. Not a great day, but Winker strikes out every time, he walks. And he got like 7 points right there. That's 7 points on the field. That's a lot on these smaller slates if none of the offenses, like, quote unquote, go off.
It's funny. I mean, I remember at times like last year, the year before, where Reyes and Winker were like the same price leading off. And I preferred Reyes. So it's just funny how that works.
Well, and that's how, again, I've been trying to do this. And at least I've done a good job of this year. Deciding, is it a cash game day or is it a GPP day? Depending on where the chalk is going to be and do you like the chalk or not. I don't love the chalk today, so I want to be different with it. And if it doesn't work out, we got another slate later.
Your point about people being uncomfortable leaving salary on the board is why I think Cincinnati, not why, but one of the reasons Cincinnati is just going to be so popular, because you have to spend your money somewhere. There's a lot of what people will say. In the NBA, you do, but not MLB.
For sure. And if you like, and even the NBA, you could get weird with it right now. The kid from Pacers I brought up on the show yesterday outscored Steph Curry.
Right, but it's just different. You know what I mean? You're never like it's not like that will happen like once a year.
Who's a better hitter in real life, Robbie Grossman or Jesse Winker?
Grossman's definitely had a better career. Right now, probably Winker, but it's much closer than I think people would like to say.
Yeah, but Winker's going to probably be, I would even just guess, double his ownership today.
For sure. I agree.
So that's the kind of move I like to make. I think Winker's odds of success are just a little bit better than Grossman, but he's probably going to be double the ownership today.
For sure.
So I think I will do one lineup today. I wouldn't spend a lot of money on it for me personally. If there's something you love, and you guys are all free to do whatever the hell you want with your money, that's your money. But for me, I'll probably play the cheaper pitchers, play mostly guys on the other side of it, and just go ahead and just hope that it is not the optimal type of day.
Damn, Urina's coming in with way lower ownership than all the other pitchers.
I know, and that's why I'll probably use him. And the thing about it is, like, I don't think he's like this great play. I'm not super, super excited about it. But these guys are all pretty damn similar in my mind. If Urina can go out against a less than stellar Pittsburgh team, give you 5 innings, 5 Ks, 1 run, and everybody else comes in somewhere between 10 and -2, like, that's a nice bump. Now, it's not always going to work out that way. You have to be well aware of that, but it's a kind of day where I want to be different.
I get that, man. I couldn't agree more with that sentiment.
Yeah, I figured you would, since you love being different. I didn't think I'd be twisting your arm on that one.
Nope.
So definitely think Cincinnati will be very, very – there's a lot of name recognition there. And I love Castellanos. Castellanos is a 5-pack darling, always have been. And if you want to get him in your lineup, I'd play him in cash games. And I understand if you like Cincinnati today. I just look at this as a slate where I'm going to dare to be different on this one.
I agree. I'm with you, man. You know I agree with you. I love that you feel that way. Let's go.
If you were to stack one team today, then is it Arizona for you, or is it?
So the two chalk pitchers look like Keller and Hoffman. I think Hoffman gets more love. So I actually think, man, I don't know. I still want to see where ownership goes, but
I see Hoffman as the highest owned guy today.
my gut instinct does say Arizona. But I'll take the only team I know I'm not stacking is Cincinnati.
Yeah, because they're going to be the highest owned, and without Moustakas, and they've slowed down a lot.
Everyone else will get love, but the bottom of the orders, none of the other three bottom of the orders will get a lot of love at all.
Yeah, I mean, I know Cincy was hot to start the year, won a ton of games in a row. They were putting up double digits every single day. This has not been the case since.
I don't even like them here. Like, I'm not even not using them because they're chalk. I don't even really like them. I mean, if I had to just pick one offense that I don't even know if it would be them. I mean, they're not very good right now.
Yeah, think about it. After that hot start, 3 runs, no runs scored, 3 runs. Scored 6 in a loss, not bad. Shutout. Big day against the Indians, scored 10. 3, 3, 4, 5, and this included extra innings. So a couple of those were like the free runs you get by starting with a guy on second when you're down 5. And the offense has not been vibing lately. You got no Mike Moustakas, who is probably their second best power guy outside of Castellanos. Even that's debatable. Oh, no, Suarez, my bad. Forgot about him, but he's playing like garbage this year. Well, I mean, what about this lineup intrigues you?
Who do you think they're best? Who do you think's better, Moustakas or Castellanos?
Castellanos by a little bit.
By a little?
Yeah. If I had to rank their hitters, I think Castellanos is their best hitter. Suarez is their guy with most power, and Moose is kind of a combination of the two of them. Like, they're all solid guys, but none of them are world beaters either.
Well, no, none of them are like, the Acuñas of the world.
God, no. Not even close. So I don't
none of them are like even Jose Ramirez, in my opinion.
No, none of them are. I love the Suarez fade today. I think he's one of the most popular hitters on the slate. He's got a big name. I'm a Suarez fan, but he is god-awful to start the year. And all I have to do is hope he's god-awful again today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm about it, man. Like, the only expensive players on the slate are Cincy, and the pitchers aren't expensive. They're not like crazy cheap, as you said, but they're not expensive at all.
It'll seem tough for some of you guys, especially if you're new, but doesn't mean that it's not wise from time to time to be different. And you just know that when you hit when it's different, you hit for multiple times your buy-in. So which means it's supposed to work out less than half the time.
Yeah, exactly. Agreed.
It's hard to accept that for some people. I know I struggle with that. I love seeing the green. And, you and I play significantly different. Like, you're more likely to go on a week-long losing streak and then win it all back in one day, right? And I'm more likely to go just double lose like every other day. Like, I'm definitely less exciting.
Yeah, for sure. We talk about that all the time. And yeah, we got a funny story about that. I'll tell you after our video.
All right. Sounds good, guys. Have a great day. We'll talk to you about some night baseball here in a minute.
Thanks, guys.